Pileggi Technical Services, your computers and electronics concierge service.
Welcome back. Well, today I have exciting news. My computer is finally ready for the Windows 10 upgrade. My wife's computer was actually ready a couple weeks ago, but I've been putting it off, deciding, we'll see what happens with this thing. Maybe it might not be as good as I think it is. You know, Windows 8 wasn't that great. Every time I work on a machine, with Windows 8 or 8.1, I'm kind of a little, finicky about it, but I was also the same way about Vista. I never went to Vista. I went right from XP to 7. I've loved 7. It's been my go-to operating system for the longest time. I thought XP was bulletproof, but now that I've seen 7, 7's really great. But Vista I had to skip over. 8 never got into. 8.1 never got into. So 10, I'm like, what am I going to do about 10? Well, it came up on her machine the other night. I just said, the hell with it. Let's see what happens. Throw it on the computer. I like it. I think it's pretty neat. It takes the parts that they did add to 8 and 8.1 that were good, and they added a lot more to it, and they brought some of the elements to 7 back, which I really like. But I turned to my computer and it was still telling me that it wasn't ready. There was some critical driver by Intel that wasn't released yet or something like that. So I come home tonight, I see that there was an update. I run the update, restart the computer, and after watching America's Got Talent tonight, I noticed I got this nice message, and I'm so happy it's ready. I'm curious to see how it runs on this computer, given that it has the SSD in it and the 16 gigs RAM. That should make Windows 10 run really well. I like the concept of some of the apps that they have, so I'd be pretty curious to see how they work. I do have Minecraft and things like that. I see there's a version for Windows 10 and a lot of little things that I want to try out, and I don't really want to set up on the wife's computer per se because she does her own thing on that. And well, this video is going to be about the upgrade and running through it in case you haven't done it yet yourself and you'd like to see what's involved in it. So I do have 2 monitors on this desk. The smaller of the 2 is what the camera's facing right now, and the larger is usually my main screen, but I decided for this video just to switch it to this to make it a little bit easier for filming, and I'll try to zoom in a little bit more. It might not be the best thing to read, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I don't have video capturing software yet. I do plan on getting that one day for tutorial videos, but that's something for the future. We're going ahead and we're going to run through this piece by piece, and whenever there's something major going on, I'll show you to that. I will say, after doing it on her machine, this is a very smooth operation. This is something definitely a home user can do. Of course, if you want to go the route and actually, install this on a clean operating system, and you want to go ahead and back up all of your stuff and reformat it and put Windows on and the whole 9 yards, and you're not really sure how to do that, you'd want to have a professional do it. Of course, you can always call us. We can certainly do that for you. And then the Windows 10 upgrade would be part of that as well. On the wife's computer, it was actually really interesting. It looked like there was a Windows update and for Windows 7, and then when I went to run it, it was basically the Windows 10 update, and that was it. Like, it almost looked like there was no further upgrades needed for her computer for Windows 7 ever, because it was going to be Windows 10, which is kind of interesting. It's almost like, do you have to switch to Windows 10? Or, will Windows 7 cease to exist at some point? I'm sure it's not the case, but I'm still curious to see that. So, basically, this is just, binding arbitration clause and all this kind of stuff. I don't expect anyone to, read this right now. We're not going to flip through this. This is probably like umpteen million pages long, and this is your typical software jargon. So we're just going to accept this. Accept the fate. If I remember correctly, this is just going to download, and it goes in the background and runs its thing, and really you can use the computer while it's going. You could schedule it now, schedule it later, but we're going to start it right now. I had her computer start at midnight because I thought she was going to do something with it, but we ended up just doing the upgrade. We wanted to get it done. So this is going to be the gist of this right now. It's just going to go ahead and It's going to configure the update. It's going to download whatever stuff it has, and this is just like running a regular Windows update. Is exactly how it's going to look to you. But as you can see, it's Windows 10. So I did a little research of why it's called Windows 10. I thought maybe 8.1 was going to be 9, and that's what they came up with, 8.1, but that's actually not the case. There's actually a Windows version number, and that's actually what the number comes from. This is one of the times the version number actually matches the physical number. If you want to find the version number of Windows, you can just basically go into the calculator app, or the calculator program, depending on obviously which Windows platform you're running. And you go into About, and the About tab will show you the version number. And if you're running Windows 7, it tells you what it is. I don't remember what it was off the hand. I actually should have pulled it up before we did this, but when you see the About, it'll actually say copyright Microsoft Windows and give you that whole information. It'll say version number 10 point whatever, and that 10 point whatever, the whatever part is obviously the sub-revision. But that's pretty funny when you look at it, because you think, like, why is it 10? Why is it Vista? Why is it 7? Where's the numbering system come? Because it was Windows. Then I remember my first Windows operating system was Windows 3.1. And then there was 3.11, which I think had networking added to it. And then the next major leap was 95 for me, and then 98, and then XP, and then here we are at 7 going into 10. So I haven't had every single operating system, but the numbers sure have jumped around a bit. But anyway, we're just going to let this video cut off right here. It's kind of boring in the background. Nothing's going on. This is just going to continue doing its thing. And when it comes back up, we'll start the camera up again. Okay, unfortunately, the computer restarted over here, and it set the main monitor to the large screen instead of the small screen I was set up at. But that's okay. Just switch the camera angle a little bit. So this is what you're going to be seeing next. It's the upgrading Windows screen. It tells you that it's going to restart several times, and just sit back and relax. Right now it's just copying files. It's at 59%. So it's basically 17% overall completed. Once it's done copying the files, it basically installs all the features and whatnot, and new drivers. And then it'll configure the settings. It's a very, very streamlined thing. The only thing I really had to do, that I remember on her computer, at least the wife's that is put all of her passwords and stuff in for her login information. And I also believe, if I remember correctly, you need to have a Microsoft account to log into your computer now. And I think that's part of Windows 8 and 8.1 as well. We were both running Windows 7 Professional on these machines, so we already had logins, but they were just a local login for the computer. Now this will actually be a Windows login from the Microsoft network, which is also what we use for our email, since she has MSM from back in the day, and I have Hotmail from back in the day. So I'm going to cut the camera off here again until this is past this screen, because, well, who wants to look at a big percentage sign counting down on a little computer monitor over here? Not as interesting, and it would be nicer if I had a video capture device, but I don't think that would really necessarily work unless I had something hooked up to like the VGA or maybe even the HDMI port in the computer, because most of the time that stuff is software, and you wouldn't really have that software running if the computer was installing Windows like this. So anyway, let me cut the camera off here and let this go, and we'll be right back. And now we're at the 42% mark, and Windows is 27% on the installing features and drivers part. If you'd like more information about this computer, which is a custom computer that I built myself, look in the description for a link to the video that I shot on the insides of the computer, as well as what hardware it contains. And here we are at 71%. Just gonna let this run for another minute. It's at 91% for the drivers and features, so that's pretty good. It's almost done. And cut it off here, and we'll come back. We're back at a restart. Just going to load up here and see. It's going, fairly quickly for an install. So far, so good. And yeah, we're back at the little monitor, so I have to switch back to that view. I'll be right with you. Now we're back with 75% overall completion. 2% of the configuring settings is complete. Now we're at 91% overall completion. 67% configuration settings complete. 87% overall completion. 90% configuration settings complete. Oh, the tension's... Whoa. Welcome back, Chris. Oh, we have a bunch of words here. Oh, let's see what customize settings does. Personalize your speech, typing, and linking input. Or inking, I'm sorry. I don't want to send any data to Microsoft, sorry. I don't want advertising. Location we could turn off too, sure. We'll just leave these as they are. Oh right, now we have Microsoft Edge. There's no more Internet Explorer. Yeah, and photos and music, and yeah, that's all fun stuff. We'll check that stuff out. Finalizing settings. Hi. This is what I mean about that streamlined stuff. I have to say, I think Microsoft did it right with this. They made this really easy for the end user, and also I like the fact that they went and looked at everything you had in the computer to make sure that this was going to work first before they did it to you. That really hits home to me. Nothing irks me more than you have to go out and get this operating system and nobody does the research to make sure it's actually going to work for your particular machine. This is the only time I've ever seen that happen. You know, that's why my wife's computer was ready weeks before mine was, because there was some specific driver that just wasn't cleared yet, and today was the day it was clear. And I like that. Also, we actually play an older game of Monopoly over our home network here between each other. And it's actually back from Windows 98, and that program worked on Windows 7 in a 64-bit environment flawlessly. It still works on her Windows 10 machine now. And I think that's really awesome, that, you know, Microsoft has to have functionality for older programs as much as new programs too. Now look at this. We're up to my desktop already. This is pretty cool. I mean, that was a really quick install. And basically everything is just as I had it. Chrome, there's an extra icon over here that wasn't there before. And now this is just a little different. I had the snippet tool there. I had a calculator here. My Dropbox, everything is just as it was. And what's nice about Windows 10, and I think this was an 8 as well, but you were able to you were able to go in and just clean up Windows like a fresh install without losing your user files. And I thought that was pretty neat. You know, you didn't have to back it up and format the drive and start from scratch at Windows and then load everything after that. It was already there. I don't know if you really got technical and you broke down the differences between the two, if one's technically really better than another, but as again the end user, that makes that really easy. Now, I did mention in this video that I'm using my smaller monitor to film this, and the larger monitor we were switching back and forth on. Ooh. Oh, right. What this is the alert viewer that just popped up here is for my server. I did notice that the server alert viewer program is a little bit different on this as well as her computer, and I haven't really delved into that too much because it seems like I still have the same backup functionality as far as I can tell. But I do have to look at the server and see how that's running. But for now, I'm just going to just get this out of here. But yeah, like I was saying with this program, it's nice that the end user can just do that on their own without having to go through the tedious process of backing up their computer and reformatting Windows and that whole 9 yards. But yeah, the two monitor thing. So if anybody's ever used two monitors, you know that your taskbar is only on the bottom of one of the monitors, and you can see that over here. But what I just noticed to the right is there's another taskbar on the other monitor, which I've never seen in the Windows operating thing natively. There's no time on this one in the corner. It's just whatever icons I have on the other monitor. And that's pretty neat. I wasn't expecting that, actually. I didn't look in to see how it was handling two monitors. So if I click over here, we still have our system tray. I have a lot of these hidden. There's this new OneDrive. I actually already had this installed. I did it the other night. You actually get a really good deal with Microsoft. If you give them $20 a month, they will give you, and up to 5 users in your house total, 1 terabyte of storage, plus the Office 365 apps, which are the online apps that you can get. Up to 5 machines, and I think 5 tablets, and I'm not sure if that's per user, but it was for 5 users. So that means for me and my wife here, we each have a terabyte of storage space online, plus the Office apps if we decide to do that for $20 a month. I think that's a pretty damn good deal personally, and if you have a big family, that's even better. I have a 1 terabyte hard drive in here, and I also have the 120 gigabyte SSD, but total between the two of them, I don't have a terabyte worth of stuff. So theoretically, I could actually back up my entire hard drive to the cloud and get that stuff anywhere in the world, which is really, really cool. Same thing with her machine for sure. In fact, between the two of us, there's more than enough room for all of our stuff, actually. So that's really cool. I'm glad that they have that for such a cheap deal right now. But anyway, we can go into like File Explorer here and see that there's a lot of different options for pinning, and I haven't even really played with all this stuff yet, so yeah, it's going to be interesting getting into all this. I have to play with it. I do have, like I said, we have our home group here between our two machines, plus we have a server, which has its own thing going on. So, for example, like the music between the computers is stored in the server. So if you go into my library folder, you will see that the library location isn't actually on this machine, it's on the server. So that way, when I save something, it automatically goes to that hard drive over there. Same with her computer, and I might have to reconfigure all that in this. I haven't really looked at that because the plugin for it seems like it's a little different. But I will check that out. And yeah, here's of course the cool app program integration thing. I like this. I like the way they put the power button back. That was a home run for me. You have your most used programs here. You have your quick apps like your mail and all that stuff. I think that's a really great thing. That's a great idea, and I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with this. And Ash, you should go install this on your computer right now if you haven't. Like I said, Microsoft did a really good job with this so far. I'm really happy with it. I know I just put it on this machine, and I'm sure I'll have some caveats that I'll say like, I don't really like this as much, and I'm sure I'll have to get used to all these different apps and things, but I'll get used to it. Some of it is a little better. You can do the snapping where you can put multiple apps up at once, and if you have 2 monitors, I'm sure that's really cool. But anyway, I think that's good for this video for now. We'll come back to Windows 10 at some point and see if I learned anything new and exciting in it. And if you have any questions of how to do this, or you need my help or guidance running you through it, or like I said, you want to do Windows 10 on a clean machine, we can certainly set that up for you. Don't forget to hit the like or subscribe button if you want to see more, and thanks for watching.